Well, here we are, ladies and gentlemen. The 11th Doctor's Collector's Set, and this is something I've been putting off for a little bit now because, to be honest, there's always one. Every year, there's always that one set that nobody asked for and nobody wanted. But hey, here it is, same packaging. Now let's take a look at the figures, shall we? Well, here they are. And yeah, whatever. The thing is, though, this set is basically just a sort of rehash of the Impossible set plus an Amy. That's literally this set, so there's not an awful lot to talk about. We'll go through the Clara or Oswin figure first. This is basically exactly the same as the previous version. The only differences are that I think the hair's had a slightly different wash to it, and the belt has had a sort of dirty tarnish wash on it. I have noticed, though, the PVC that they've used for her dress and her skirt, very, very rubbery. Like, extremely rubbery to the point where I'm slightly worried that this thing is going to tear, or that it's going to disintegrate over time. And also, she has this really weird sort of dead expression on her face. Just there. I mean, also looking at the eyes. The thing is, though, they do look a bit more brown on camera, but in real life they look a bit more red, to be honest, like she's some devil woman. Uh, Articulation is the same in that as it ever is. I mean, if you didn't get the Oswing figure, then, or the Impossible set, then I guess. But for me, could not care less. Now for the Amy, the only true variant in this set, which is just a repainted version of her Victory of the Daleks costume. It isn't 100% accurate, though, to be honest, it is a bit more interesting. Those tights, though, Jesus Christ, I mean, it reminds me of, for example, the Horrible Histories, where they basically told you about gravy stockings. That's what it reminds me of. Other than that, to be honest, she doesn't seem to have the dead-eyed stare that Oswing seems to have, and that she looks a bit more natural. However, her eyes and that, and the paint on her face just looks a bit off, to be honest. She sort of looks like she's going a bit cross-eyed, so that is a bit of a shame. The hair's gone nicely in that, and it has some lighter layers and darker layers, and the jacket in that has a nice wash over the jacket to make it look more like worn down denim. So that's all nice, and it's also nice that they've actually painted all the little buckles round her belt. So I guess that's a nice one, good. And also, her skirt does not feel as rubbery as this does. This just feels really cheap. Whereas this one, feels a lot more tough, so it feels stronger plastic. Unfortunately, she also has the problem with a lot of these figures, extremely loose and bendy arms. This is a really rubbery plastic that they're using on these figures, like even more than I've ever seen before. Then finally, we get on to the 11th Doctor, which, to be honest, eh. I mean, it's a pretty much more muted colours of the original, and rather than, they painted it more of a brown rather than a purple, and the trousers are now just a standard brown rather than being a burgundy, and the waistcoat is now just a solid black, and the tie now is just a solid black. The head, actually, pretty good, although on my one, it does look a bit like he's got one eye slightly too bigger than the other. The head is supposedly still removable. I can't seem to get mine off. But, oh no. Yeah, it is removable. So the head is still removable, so if you have some other 11 Doctor's heads from either the Snowmen or the Time of the Doctor set, you can swap them there. I'm not sure why you'd want to, but yeah. It's also mine's got a bit of a... It's supposed to be like that. I can't remember. Other than that, he's exactly the same with those really... Again, these arms are really, really rubbery. The build quality on these figures this year is definitely gone down to previous years. I mean, A lot of people are giving the excuse, oh, it's the B&M sets, they're made to be cheaper. But the thing is, the B&M sets from previous years, the build quality wasn't that noticeable. But this year, it's clear that it is an awful lot cheaper compared to previous years. I mean, for example, the boxes are smaller as well, and there are no accessories that come with these figures this year round. So this is just a massive disappointment for me. I mean, also, what is the point of this set? Why? Two of these figures were released in a set together, and then you shove an Amy. I don't know why. Of all the figures you could have released. And it makes me annoyed that why not have a Monster set? I would have much rather had a Monster set than have this. I mean, who asked for this? Who wants this? And the thing is, you know that this is going to be the set that no one buys. Like, for example, like last year, we had the 9th Doctor set that no one bought, that you can still buy in B&Ms. They still have it on the shelves. In most P&Ms I go to, they still have the 9th Doctor set. So, why do they always do a set that will not sell, that no one will buy? It makes no sense. I mean, I know the 11th Doctor, was more popular than maybe some of the classic ones, particularly in America, but the thing is, though, I'm just a bit sick of seeing this over and over again. It seems like we have the same Doctors on a rotation. It's either the 3rd, 4th, 10th, 11th, and now or 12th Doctor. We never see any of the others. It would be nice to get a 1st Doctor set, or a 2nd Doctor set, or a 5th Doctor set, a 6th Doctor set, a 7th Doctor set, or an 8th Doctor one. Although, you couldn't really do much with an 8th Doctor one, considering the figures that exist of just 8 himself. But still, anything else other than this. I mean, I'm also annoyed that no Monster sets and that. I mean, the only Monster we've technically got this year is the Auton. That's it. That is the only Monster we've actually got this year. Which is a real shame because, the Monster set are generally some of the best ones. And that last year's one, and that with the Attack Cyberman and with the Tomb Cyber Controller, really great. But, this, I mean, are the figures bad? Well, they are made very cheaply in that, so they lose on that. And also, just the why. I mean, I only bought this for completionist sake and also to review it. Otherwise, do not buy it. That's what I'm saying. Unless you desperately want these figures and you really want them, I would just go off buying it. Buy any of the other sets. I mean, some people say, oh, you shouldn't have to pay this much to get the 3 figures. But the thing is, $16.99 to get the build figure plus 2 extras isn't too bad, considering the single release build figure, I believe, is $12.99. So $16.99 isn't a bad deal. Or, you've got down here the 3rd Doctor and TARDIS set. Yes, it may not have electronics and that, and yes, the battery compartment and that is obvious, but, it's something new. It's something a bit more different. The 70s set, we've got 3 brand new variants. But with this, I mean, that is pretty much a basic as re-release. This is just a variant for the sake of being a variant, to be honest. The Amy, I guess it's a worthy variant, though it is just a repaint. So that's what I've got to say on this set. I don't like it, to be honest. I don't care about it at all. No accessories and that, no nothing. Just really cheap, and it kind of feels like character probably had a load of those Impossible sets that didn't sell, because I remember My Forbidden Planet had them in for God knows how long, and they probably just sent them back to the factory at one point, and then they just repainted them, repackaged them as this. So yeah, that's it for this review. It got very angry at times, but hey, I say what I honestly think of these, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.